What's up, guys? So today we're going over 7 business ideas that I've gotten from Mr. Beast. He's a huge inspiration for me. I think he's one of the greatest and most influential entrepreneurs of Gen Z. So I've learned a lot from him, and I'm going to be going over the major lessons today. So the first big lesson I took from Mr. Beast is his work ethic. I mean, this man works like an absolute maniac. Ever since he was 18, when he really first started taking it seriously, he was pretending to go to community college, but really he was working like 16, 17 hours a day, just putting in all the work that he needed to get his channel up and moving.
And so I would act like I was going to college that whole time, but I wasn't. And I didn't have enough money to move out. And that was kind of when I was just like 15 hours a day, all in. I was like, I'm fucked if this doesn't work. And I had some videos pop off. I couldn't tell you which ones, but I had a month where I made 20 grand because I just had some videos just do really, really well. And then I came home and I was like, yeah, I haven't been going to college. And I moved out the next day.
And he's just continued doing that throughout. I mean, he's talked about during his Amazon Prime show, Beast Games, he did that in addition to putting out the regular content on his YouTube channel, which was insane considering the hours he was already putting in.
Yeah, I was pushing myself to my limit when I was just growing the YouTube channel because obviously we've grew faster than any YouTube channel ever in history, and that was hard. But now doing that again, like we talked about before, while doing the streaming show, while trying to lift weights. I mean, because I used to be like fat as hell, and I'm working on that, and that's still a struggle. And then while building festivals at the same time, it's like I'm essentially doing what I was doing before, and I was already at my limit, going harder than any human could, like not listening to music, not playing video games, not doing shows this full on obsessed. But now I'm doing that kind of across 4 things.
Yeah.
So he's just done that all throughout his life, and it's very inspirational. But it is a good lesson that if you want to be a top level entrepreneur, there's a lot of work involved. So the second big lesson from Mr. Beast is to reinvest everything or almost everything into your business. So this is something he's become very well known for. He pretty much reinvests like 100% or as close to it of the revenue from his YouTube videos. He just throws it right back in to make more and better videos. This is ever since he first got, I think it was $10,000 from one of his first videos. He gave that to a homeless person for the next video.
Point did you start investing into the videos at a different scale?
Great question. Literally put on me the entire time. When I used to make like $1 a day, I saved up for months and I bought a microphone, way worse than this microphone. And then I saved up for like half a year and I bought a computer. I the whole time I was like recording on my iPhone. So I was recording and editing on my iPhone when I first started, and then I got a microphone you could plug in, then I got a computer to edit on. And then after like 2 years of just filming on my phone, I had 100,000+ subscribers. But I still didn't have a camera because those things cost like $1,000. Or I was stupid. I didn't realize you could buy like a G7X for $400. So then I bought a camera. And after that, I bought monitors for my computer. And I just kept going and reinvesting. And then I tipped pizza delivery people $100. And then I tipped a homeless man 10 grand. And then, gave away cars, gave away houses. And last hand, take hand off $1 million keeps it. And basically the entire time.
Since then, even when he's really scaling up and doing things that are much bigger than he's ever done before, he just continually reinvests pretty much every cent that he can.
Like actual cash, I'm probably the poorest person in this room because we just
I doubt that. Cash is grass, man.
Yeah,
I doubt that.
We like if I make $3-4 million a month, I just spend it on videos the next month. We literally like have razor thin margins and just reinvest it all.
That's wild.
So this has encouraged me to cut my living expenses a little bit. I'm gonna probably be getting a roommate this year. So that's going to cut my rent a lot, and that's going to allow me to put more money back into my business. Also, I think that if you're an entrepreneur, reinvesting into your own business is a better idea for what to do with your money than to put it into like stocks or something, because that'll only have like an 8 or 10% return over the long run, where your business is going to be much higher. I will say, just full disclosure, I don't reinvest literally everything. I do put a little bit away into like a Roth IRA, but that's just for a safety net for my own personal risk tolerance. So I don't go like as hardcore as he does, but it's definitely caused me to make some changes in my life. And also I no longer feel guilty when I'm spending like a very large portion, especially towards the beginning of the year when I have a lot of marketing expenses. I spend a lot of my own money, and I used to feel like I was being very risky, but now I just feel like that's just sort of par for the course if you're an entrepreneur. So the third big lesson is constant improvement, and Mr. Beast has talked about in several videos how throughout his whole teenage years, he was really trying to learn the how to make better videos on YouTube, and that was really his whole life's goal ever since he was like very young. And he's constantly been working on it throughout his adolescence.
Your first video is not going to get views, period. It's not. Your first 10 are not going to get views. I can very confidently say that. So stop sitting there and thinking for months and months on end, and just get to work and start uploading. Like, all you need to do, this applies to people who have not uploaded videos but have dreams of being a YouTuber, is make 100 videos and improve something every time. Do that. And
but also, even in more recent years, despite all the fame and success that he's had at such a young age, none of it really seems to have gone to his head. And within the past couple of years, he's talked about how he's gotten much better at storytelling. And even in certain podcasts, he was like in the process of trying to get better at storytelling.
Screw it. Like, people say they want better stories from us. Let's do it. And again, that's where I threw all my like things I normally worry about out the window there. I was like, simplicity. I was like, screw it. We'll be a little complex, you know? And then on the other end, it's like, I'm very, you know, fast. It's like, let's slow it down. Let's build some characters.
Yeah.
That's what people say they want. And they worked. And everyone's like, those are the two reasons we love that video. And so.
And he was even still, none of it went to his head, and he was still working on getting better and better YouTube videos, which is, I think, a very good lesson for any entrepreneur. So the fourth big lesson for Mr. Beast is mental toughness and also like competitiveness. So this is a guy that's put himself through absolutely crazy challenges, like spending 7 days in solitary confinement, or burying himself alive, or being stranded out at sea. And most of these challenges he's completed, and it's through a lot of just perseverance and mental toughness that he has, which has, I think, also served him very well in his business, obviously, because he's very successful, and he can push through any hard times that he has to go through. Also, one of the Beast Games contestants, actually the winner, Jeff, he talked about a time when Mr. Beast was playing a game with him, and even in that instance, Jeff didn't expect Jimmy to be so competitive.
As a perfectionist, I didn't realize outside of that how competitive he was. So like when we got to the top 10, we were in a, kind of had a night with him and his fiance and some other people from the team. And there's some people playing Catan, and he was so competitive. Like there was no chance he was going to let anybody beat him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how is he this competitive with just contestants? So it's just like he never turns it off.
Because it was just a game, he thought maybe Mr. Beast is only competitive in YouTube videos. But even in that like small game that they were playing offset, Jimmy was still very competitive, which I think has served him very well as a YouTuber and an entrepreneur. So the fifth thing that I learned from Mr. Beast is that you become who you surround yourselves with. So he's talked repeatedly about when he was about 18, 19, he got like a Zoom call, or it probably wasn't Zoom at the time. I don't know if it was Skype or whatever. But it was with like 4 other YouTube creators, and none of them were very big at the time, but they all bounced ideas off of each other, and so they all could learn from each other's mistakes.
Most of my growth came actually after I graduated high school. Basically what I did was I somehow found these other like 4 lunatics. 3 of us were college dropouts, 1 was a high school dropout, and 1, I don't know, he just like quit his job. We were all super small YouTubers, and we basically talked every day for 1,000 days in a row and did nothing but just like hyper study, like what makes a good video, what makes a good thumbnail, what's good pacing, like how to go viral. And
this is something that I think he did very well at a young age. But also in more recent years, he surrounds himself with some of the best producers and best video creators and most creative people on the planet.
It's taken a long time, but like I would literally, without a doubt in my mind, say we have the smartest people in the world when it comes to making viral content. And like no one else can do this type of stuff. You have to be very nimble. You have to really think outside the box.
And so I think that's a very large portion of his success is the people that he surrounds himself with. And he's talked about it repeatedly and how thankful he is for his team. So the sixth thing that I learned from Jimmy is that you need to try to market more efficiently than others and not necessarily just work harder at marketing. So this is actually one that I'm working on now. He talked on Joe Rogan about how certain ideas on YouTube, if you have really good ideas for your videos, then your videos will most likely do better than someone who just had like a mediocre idea, but worked really, really hard on it because of how important the idea for the YouTube video is.
You could pull triple the views with half the work if you just had better ideas. Like, no joke, it's that extreme. And so once you realize how important an idea is, you just obsess over, well, how do I get more ideas? How to get better ideas?
This is actually an interesting difference for Mr. Beast's industry compared to pretty much any other industry. When you're in the entertainment industry and specifically YouTube, your marketing and your product are one and the same. There's actually really no difference between them because the better your YouTube video is, you're just marketing yourself, and that is the product. So there's really no difference. But so with my industry, I do power washing and window washing. I'm trying to get better and better at marketing more efficiently. So initially I was putting out flyers like a maniac on people's houses and taping them to, door handles and stuff, which it took a really, really long time and it was really hard work, but it wasn't as efficient as what I'm doing now, which is I do a lot of Google LSA ads and I do a lot of home shows, which are much more effective marketing. They do cost a little bit more, but I'm not working nearly as hard on those. And I'm getting like much better results than I would if I was just running around like a maniac putting out flyers still. This is one I'm still working on. So this year I'm probably going to learn more about Facebook and YouTube ads specifically. So then I can just really flood my schedule with leads and with clients without having to do too much work. But the main takeaway from this is that you need to market as efficiently as possible and not necessarily just work harder. So the seventh and final thing that I learned from Mr. Beast is that the internet and specifically YouTube, it is pretty much unavoidable for business owners in our generation if you want to be the best that you can. He's talked about how pretty much everybody uses YouTube now. And so if you want to reach as large of an audience as possible, there's really no way that's better than YouTube.
You're so big at this point, you could have your own servers, your own website, your own deals with advertisers where you get 100% of the revenue rather than,
I love YouTube. I mean, like, you got to think about it like YouTube comes pre-installed on Android.
Right.
Obviously Google owns YouTube, or Alphabet, but also Google. And so people go there through Google. I mean, like, all roads point to YouTube.
Yeah.
I love being the biggest creator on YouTube. I fuck going and doing my own thing. That sounds stupid. Like, hell no. Like, I can have, one of the largest audiences in the world. And instead of thinking about building my own platform, I'd rather think about building businesses, leveraging my audience off of YouTube, like Beast Burger and our snack brand and other stuff like that.
Also, people generally trust someone that they can see on camera more, even if it's uncomfortable the first time to talk to a camera or whatever. And some people don't like showing their name or face online. I personally especially once I was learning a lot from Jimmy, I just sort of said, well, that's just par for the course. It's just part of our generation, and I'm going to have to deal with it because I want to be the best entrepreneur that I can. So that's it for this video. This was different than some of the other videos I've done before. This was 7 things that I learned about business from Mr. Beast. Thanks.